The First Presbyterian Foundation has been an integral part of First Church for a long time. In true Tulsa style, the original gift that began the foundation in the late 50s was 25 shares of oil stock. But like many things concerning the history of First Presbyterian, the roots of the foundation run much deeper than that. Our members have been future-thinking since the earliest days. At the beginning of the last century, First Church housed the new University of Tulsa in the church basement at 4th and Boston, while the TU campus was being built way out east on 11th Street. Over the years, First Church members would go on to create a variety of endowed scholarships, which would help countless students reach their dream of a college education. Founding father J.M. Hall even had a letter campaign urging congregants to remember the church in their wills. Enough history. Let's fast forward to today. First Presbyterian Foundation is active and alive and essential to nearly everything we do at First Church. But many members don't really understand how the foundation works. Be not afraid, we're about to fix that. Here, to help me help you understand, are some of my friends from Awana, the Wednesday night gathering of more than 90 kids who have a fun time memorizing Bible verses. By the way, funds from the foundation help make Awana possible each year, as well as many other First Church activities. Monetary gifts to the church happen in 3 basic ways. First is through our annual stewardship commitment and weekly offerings. These gifts support the day-to-day ministry of First Church and are needed every year. Next are contributions to capital campaigns and special projects. These are designated projects with a particular goal in mind, like the wonderful new addition to the main church, the 810 building and mission project across the street, or even a habitat house. Last but certainly not least are gifts, memorials, and bequests to the foundation. Some gifts are for specific purposes like scholarships or upgrading our TV ministry to HD. Many gifts go into the general foundation fund. The total amount in the foundation is known as the corpus, and the trustees who manage the foundation rarely, if ever, dip into the corpus. Instead, they distribute the investment income that the corpus generates each year, recently as much as $400,000. So the larger the corpus, the more funds are available to continue the church's mission. And it grows forever. Remember the original stock gift of $1,000? It's now worth $66,000, and it continues to grow and do great things. Many members have designated First Presbyterian Foundation in their wills. It's a way to offer thanks for the blessings that they've received and a way to pay it forward so that future generations may come to know that the Lord is good. Here's what a few of them have to say.
First Presbyterian Church is home. The most important events of our life have occurred at First Presbyterian Church.
I have met some of my absolute best friends. One of my best friends is someone I met in 2nd grade Sunday school. And the people I hang with today came from my adult Sunday school class.
We were married there, our kids were baptized there, our granddaughter was baptized there. Long history.
The church has done so much for so many of us. I can speak to you myself personally and tell you that the church has been there for me many, many times. And I certainly want to be there for them, and I will be. So many of us, I'm 68 years old, and a lot of us now are starting to think about what we'll do, at our deaths. So a planned gift just says to the foundation that upon my passing, this is something that I want my family to honor. This is a gift that I'd like to give to the church. It's an easy way for someone to make a difference in their life today, and I think in the end it'll really add significance to what their life was when they were here.
The giving back has been instilled in me from childhood. I grew up in a church. My parents were faithful Christians, and they tithed, and that's just the way I was brought up. And since we've been at First Pres, the giving back has been a part of all of me. When John got sick and died, I don't think I could have survived it without the church surrounding us. Just all of the people in our Bible studies and the choir and the ushers and Jim Miller, just came all close to us and just worked us through it and held us up. And that's part of the whole package that is the blessing.
I had no idea how active or how important that foundation is to the health of the church. But I thought, oh, it's just operating expenses. But oh no, we've got many, scholarships and ministries, and the list is so long of all the things that that money is used for, and how important it is for what First Church is all about.
The foundation fits into every single corner, crack, nook, cranny of First Presbyterian Church and all of its programs. There isn't a program, there isn't an activity at First Presbyterian Church that the foundation doesn't touch, and it therefore indirectly or directly touches every life of every person that walks through the doors of First Presbyterian Church.
Effectively, what we're doing is endowing a portion of this church's program until the end of time. And we feel very good about that.
I have to say that the gorgeous building, the fabulous pipe organ, the stained glass, all of that means a lot to me. And those things didn't happen by accident, and they didn't happen recently. Somebody, our founding members of the church, built that oftentimes without seeing, the fruition of their efforts. It's like planting a tree. You plant it for generations to see, not to see in your lifetime.
I know I can easily just stop and realize that my grandparents were faithful, not only to give, but in attendance and participate, time, talent, and treasure. And I think a truly committed Christian will step up to the plate for that. And I do think it's time for our generation in particular to see we are the generation of, I'm now a grandmother, and it was my grandparents in that time frame of life that were willing to go above and beyond.
You look at the Gathering Place. When the Gathering Place was put together, Kaiser Family Foundation had the foresight to simultaneously endow a foundation to support that in perpetuity, because they created these assets and they wanted it to be supported. And I think that our foundation does the same thing.
$1,000 invested at 10% for 50 years grows to $128,000. That's a lot of money. But instead of 1,000, what if you gave 100,000? Then we're talking about huge dollars.
You can let your mind wander. If our foundation is 5 times as big as it is today, in 10 years, gosh, we'll be touching thousands and thousands of lives. Literally, our community should be the beneficiary of that. It'll help our church, but much more, it'll help our community, because we'll be able to do things that we could have never done. And I think that just makes First Pres what it should be. We're Tulsa's oldest church. I think we're its best church. We need to leave a future that proves that that was true.
There is so much more that could be done if we had dollars able to be translated into ministries. There is so much more vision that could happen in terms of what the Lord might do in and through the First Church congregation, both locally and globally. It's exciting to see where we are. It's even more exciting to think about where the Lord might be leading us. And the privilege that we have to be intentional and thoughtful and focused on how our gifts might serve generations ahead is really fun. It's beautiful to think about. Those who have gone before us have thought in ways that have served our generation, including my own family. It seems like a privilege and also a holy obligation that we might be thinking forward as to how our blessings might serve the next generation.